Hey everybody, Coach Stacy Lynn here. So I gotta tell you, first of all, I want to say thank you for hitting like and sharing this out, and even most importantly, leaving a comment because it makes me feel like I am not just talking to myself, people. Anyway, the other thing is, today I want to illustrate something by using this fan. Okay, a couple of days ago, I did a little video where I talked to you about anxiety being a signal and not a sin. Okay, literally that video is, I think, about 2 minutes. So if you haven't seen it, go to my shorts section and watch it. Okay. Today, I want to talk to you about why it's hard for people to who spiral or who feel really, really anxious all the time to stay in the moment. And I want to illustrate it to you by showing you this nifty camping fan. By the way, this is a great camping fan. I have to tell you, it's very cool. And I'm going to turn it on here. It comes even with a remote, but I'm just going to do it by my hand. So I'm going to turn this fan on, okay? First of all, it's got dual things in here. Anyway, long story short, I will put a link. It will be an affiliate link to this fan should you decide you want to get it, because there's a lot of great features to it. And you'll always remember this example if you get it. Okay, so here's the deal. Have you ever been really hot? Of course you have. And if you're a woman of my age, then you've been hot a lot because you're like in menopause. And so you totally want the fan to be on you all the time, and you're willing to sit here in front of a fan, and in fact you're going to turn it up full blast, right? So it's full blast. You're sitting here, and what you are, people, is you're sitting in front of a fan, and you are literally feeling the air on your face, and you're literally in the moment. Yeah, you are. You're sitting in front of a fan because you're super hot, and you are in the moment, right? You are literally in the present. You're sitting here. My hair is getting all in my face. Okay. I could pretend I'm a model or something. Okay, anyway. So the point is that if you're going to stay in the present, the only way that you could do it is by literally staying in the present. And what happens is, when you are not in the present, what happens is you don't get all of the air. Let's just to use the analogy here. So this has an oscillator on there. So this actually turns the fan. So you can see. Do you feel that, people? Do you feel it? But you see how it's turning? Visual example, but it's slow. Okay, I was going to say it's a slow example, but this is what you do. You know, you're trying to get cooled off, but the problem is you're constantly moving. You're moving, and so you're not able to actually get cool, because every time you move, you're getting out of the airway, and you remain hot. And you know why? It's because, and I'm going to stop this just for a minute. You know why? It's because what happens with us, especially if you struggle with anxiety, is you are constantly moving. You are in a state where you are moving all the time, and you wonder why you're anxious. It's because you're not being still. You're not present in one place, right? So the thing is when you're present in one place, you can experience the coolness of this fan, right? But if I'm constantly moving in and out of the direction of the air of this fan, I'm not going to get any cooler. In fact, I'm going to get hotter. And I may even get more anxious if that is how I'm dealing with it. Now look, this is a visual example to show you that that being in the present will actually get you what you want and what you need. It literally will, at least in this case, right? But the problem is we live in a society that has tricked us into thinking that we can multitask. We can do 5 million things at once. And a big reason for that are these things. We are convinced that we cannot live without these phones. I'm gonna share a personal example of something that I did with my phone recently, and it blew me away. Okay, so I was and this is vulnerable, so don't be judging me in the comments or in your heart, like after you hear what I did, okay? Because I know some of you are going to be like me, all right? Okay. All right. So I have a favorite game on my phone. I'm not going to say what it is because it doesn't matter. Some of you might already know, but anyway, I have this game, and in your digital well-being section of the phone, at least on my Android, I have a digital well-being section right here, digital well-being. Okay, and so I have a timer, right? And anyway, and every day it shows you like how much time you spend on your phone, right? And we're all on our phones because it's hard not to be, especially if you run a business like I do on my phone. So it came to my attention that I was just spending way too much time on this stupid game. So I decided to uninstall it. I went cold turkey. And the cool thing is that I didn't go through any withdrawal. I didn't think that I wasn't like going, ooh, I wasn't shaking or anything. But I had to change what I was doing. All right. I mean, I had to not look at my phone at that game in the morning when I first got up, and at night I had to look at it at night to make sure that everything was in place. And it really began to consume me. And then I was talking through something with something. Anyway, I was talking through something, and what I realized was that game was actually increasing my anxiety, and it was also causing me to lose money. Now, it's not a gambling game or anything like that, but they definitely know how to get you to pay stuff in order to pay to keep playing your game. And I'm not alone in that. Have you ever been to the Play Store? Look at the top games. You'll see that there are gazillions of people who pay to play, basically. And in the end, you're kind of like, I'm illogical and I'm very frugal. So it's like, if I look and I go, I'm constantly being tempted to play this game. This game is making me anxious, and I didn't even know it was making me anxious. And part of the reason it was making me anxious was because I was going, oh my gosh, okay, I want to make sure that I keep playing so I get these scores because I'm very competitive, but I don't want to spend money. So I have this conflict internally. Like, do I play the game? Because if I play it, then I'm going to have to pay for it and all that. And I actually made the mistake of sharing a couple of years ago with a friend of mine. I actually shared with her this struggle. And rather than comforting me and saying, hey, I get it, I've been there too, she completely condemned me. And when I told her how much money I'd spent, she flat out condemned me. And I was like, wow, you actually have a budget for your wardrobe every month. I don't. And I barely spend any money on entertainment whatsoever. So I cannot believe that you just condemned me for spending literally a few dollars. But I share this because I uninstalled the game. And I did really good. It was a good week. I didn't go through any withdrawal. I had to change how I was thinking, though, because what it taught me uninstalling the game was that just like my mom was a cigarette smoker. Um, a lot of cigarette addiction, it's just tactile. It's like they just want something to, to smoke. It's not that they, it's not even the nicotine that's addictive. By the way, that's been proven false. But aside from that, I remember watching my mother just puff on a cigarette and she just fiddle with it. And that's kind of how our phones are, right? And I realized, okay, I'm just playing this game in order to keep myself busy. And it was keeping me out of the present. So by removing it, I had to go, what am I dealing with here in the present that I don't want to deal with? Right? So, and for me, there's lots of different issues that I have on my mind a lot. I work with a lot of people, and I'm constantly trying to help people in my head before I see them, among other things. So then, over the weekend, I installed the game again. I reinstalled it. I thought, it's Easter, I'm just going to be kicking back. I can just enjoy my game and play it. And I did. And then I got irritated. And I was like, are you serious? And my husband, he's like, did you fall off the wagon? And I'm like, well, I wasn't really on the wagon. I'm not in denial about this, but yeah, I guess so. I mean, in terms of now I have this game on my phone again, and I should install it. I should uninstall it, and all that. But I did put it down, and I stopped playing it after a couple hours because I really liked the game. So I had to make a choice. And that choice is to be mindful of being in the present or not being in the present. Because it's really easy for me to play this game while I'm doing other stuff. Just like somebody smoking a cigarette. It's really easy for them to smoke and do their job, right? Unless you're in a non-smoking environment, but you know what point I'm trying to make, right? So when it comes to reducing anxiety, one of the things that you have to really begin to think about is, are you present? Because if you are not present, you're going to be all over the place. You're not going to get cooled off because you're not going to be in front of the air to get yourself cooled off. Just as an example, you are going to be in a state of hypervigilance, and you're going to be looking around, scanning for everything because you're not in the present. Now, how does this apply to your faith, right? As a Christian, God has given us so many tools. That's the beauty of being a believer. And I am the first person to say that I have not arrived, people. I am definitely farther along than I was 30 years ago. And I have a lot of skills I didn't have then, and they work when I employ them. And so part of what I want this video for you to be today is I want you to watch this over. I do. I really want you to watch this. Keep watching it until you actually get what I'm telling you. Because some of you right now are watching me and you're distracted watching something else, or you're not even this far because you couldn't even get this far in the video. Those of you who are actually this far, ask yourself, what is it that you've been thinking about at the same time you've been watching me talk about this issue, right? Because most people are not present. Most people just can't be, because we're living in a society that's dragging us into 15 million different directions. And so when you actually are present and you are, according to Scripture, being still, and you are sitting at the feet of Jesus, let's say, then you will calm down. So a couple of weeks ago, I made a video, and in the video, I have 300 videos on here, but I made a video recently talking about how one way to really engage with God and to increase your intimacy with Him is by holding on to God's promises, okay? Part of doing that is you got to know what they are, right? So, for God so loved the world, that's a good one. Or how about 1 John 1:9? If we confess our sins, he is faithful and just to forgive us our sins and to cleanse us from all unrighteousness. Now, some of you I know can say that, and that's cool. But write it down 20 times and do that for a week. Write that verse down, or any other verse you find that's a promise. Write it down every single day, 20 times a day for a week, and see what happens. And some of you are going to be like, why should I do that? I'm not going to do that. And that's part of your problem. See, part of your problem, and I'll just flat out say it, part of the problem, the reason why you are stuck, and the reason why you haven't moved forward, and the reason why you're constantly in the loop that you're in, is because you are not doing the work. And you're not doing the work. And I will tell you, and I'm just gonna flat out say it because it's true. You're not doing the work, and those of you who have been to therapy, the therapeutic model isn't great, because the general therapeutic model is you go to therapy once a week, and then you do your, and then you see them a week later. If you're in the midst of an issue like this, you can't wait a week. That's why coaching is more beneficial, because with a coach, we are not therapists. With a coach, you are accountable. With a coach, you can text us. With a coach, you can call us and talk to us. With a coach, you have accountability throughout the week. And it's better for you because that coach gets you back on track. And they help you to stop that spiral. Okay? But if you don't want to hire a coach, you can still learn stuff from coaches like me. Like here, there's lots of you that follow me, and I appreciate that, and I'm just growing the channel. But here's the thing, I guarantee you that if you take the time to write God's promises out, just 20 times a day, and keep doing it, you will see a decrease in your anxiety. You will begin to see a shift in your thinking and your body as a whole. Okay? And you're like, no, I won't. I've tried it before. Yeah, right? You haven't tried it. You haven't tried it enough. Okay? And just doing it once or twice isn't going to cut it. You have to do it consistently. And that's part of that discipline. You can get on your phone every single day consistently, and you can check your email, you can check Facebook, you can check your text messages, you can play your game. But when it comes to doing something vitally important for yourself, there is resistance. And you know why? Because it's good for you. All these other things are distractions. They're distracting you from where you really need to look and grow. Sometimes hard truth has to be told, right? I was working with a client not too long ago, and they are dealing with a specific issue, and I'm not going to say anything about it because it's confidential, but what I will say is that I had to go, okay, what you just said is impacting me, and if you do what you just said and how that impacts me, then you are not learning anything from me, and I'm going to have to draw a line. And they got it because I was very direct, and I saw them in the pattern, and I said, no, don't do that, because this is part of growing up. This is part of healing. This is part of taking personal responsibility for yourself. And the problem is if you don't do it, you won't do it. You have to do it. You're the only one that can do it. You're the only one that can do it. And unfortunately, we live in a victim-centered world where everybody gets to be a victim. And, oh, I'm a victim. I was victimized. I'm traumatized. Blah, 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 blah. Look, I can tell you that I was just reading research that talked about the resilience of people who've been traumatized in childhood. So it's not that you can't grow and overcome things, it's that you choose not to. In fact, I was reading this comment this guy made, and I'll end it here because I just, yeah. Anyway, I was reading this comment this man made in a forum, and he was saying that I have 6 children. I've been married 30 years, and I've been committing an adultery for six months, and I finally told my wife, and I don't feel like she married me for me, and I think I should leave the marriage, and blah blah blah. And all these people were making comments, just divorce her and all this other stuff. And I read that and I thought, what a butthead. Here's a guy who cheated on his wife. What a lousy guy. He's an immoral butthead. And I said that out loud. That's not really the word I want to use, by the way, but I'm trying to be nice. So he cheats on his wife, but then he blames his wife. So he's not even taking any responsibility for the fact that he cheated on his wife. But what I noticed in all the responses, and also the AI response that was given to him, was that nobody mentioned his main issue is avoidance. The whole reason he started to have this affair, he committed adultery, is because he was avoiding the real issue with his wife. He claimed that his wife doesn't care about him. But then he also said they've been married 30 years and have 6 children. I'm sorry, but a woman who has 6 children is generally overwhelmed with taking care of children. So where's this man in taking care of the children issue? Just saying. Plus, he's been with her that way. So they have children. This is Mr. Selfishness talking. Now, granted, maybe the woman is the type that's on the roof. It sounds like a dripping faucet, according to Proverbs. Maybe, who knows? I don't know. But what I do know is that rather than him dealing with this issue in a healthy way, he avoided it and created a bigger problem for himself by committing adultery. And he committed adultery with a woman who's already married. And he admitted that woman doesn't even want to get divorced. So what are you avoiding? Resistance and avoidance go hand in hand. So anyway, this video is long enough. I hope it's helped you. Leave me a comment. Let me know if it did or not. If there's something I said that doesn't make sense, an illustration that I gave that I could elaborate on in a future video, that would be helpful. Either way, though, I want you to know that you have choice. You have choice, people. Yes, and I'm pointing because you have the ability to choose, and you can choose better than you currently do. It's just some of you don't want to. And those of you who do, I'm going to tell you this. If you do and you stick with it, guess what's going to happen? You're going to change. Bottom line. If you don't stick with it, you won't change. And I'm here to encourage you to stick with it. Because if you want a better life, you have to. Right? My life, I didn't change overnight. I've had two or three people walk with me this last 30 years. They've seen the change, but they also know the crap I've gone through to get to where I'm at. Right? It didn't just happen. It was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. Not literal blood, but a lot of tears, a lot of sweat, a lot of pain, and a lot of money to get what I needed. And now I can help you because I've been there. So if you need help, you want help, I have a calendar. I only book it out a week in advance because my schedule changes a lot. So just click the link, go to my calendar, pick a spot for this week, or wait till next week and make it when I have another week up there. And let's do a consult. Maybe I can help you. And believe me, if I can't, I'll let you know right up front. I'll say, nope, you're not for me. But if I can help you, make an appointment, we can talk. All right? So I hope that helps, and I hope you have a better day.